Welcome back to Release Your Inner Power with me, Shauna B. I'm excited that you're here. And for this next episode, I want to be real for a second here. Have you ever set a goal and really committed to it only to wake up one day and think, why am I even doing this? Like, who decided this was the goal? This was the thing that I needed to be doing. And why does it feel like such a heavy and oh my God, instead of nervous, excited, or exciting for me? Yeah, same here. Today, I want to talk about something. I want to see how many women struggle with this, because I bet you we're a lot of on the same page, especially busy moms, maybe high achievers, caretakers, or women in transition of life, of maybe their kiddos are leaving their home, or maybe they just went through a divorce, or maybe you got a new job. Maybe you left a job you've been at for so long because life be lifing over here, right? So I want to dive into how to tell if your goals are truly yours, or if they're coming from outside pressure or from someone else. Because here's the thing, you're not unmotivated, you're not lazy, you're not bad at follow through. A lot of the time, you're chasing goals that were never yours to begin with. Right? What? They were never yours to begin with. They could have been somebody else's expectation, goal, or something that they think that you should, that you may not realize. And once you realize that, everything starts to shift. Let me paint a picture here. So there was a time that I had a list of goals that looked amazing on paper. Like if someone saw it, they'd be like, wow, man, she's got her together. And behind the scenes, I was exhausted. I started getting resentful at times. And honestly, I was completely disconnected from myself because I was stuck on that go, go, go wheel. That wheel we get stuck on, sometimes with all the things we need to do and all the pressures that we have. It starts to be like every single goal starts to feel like a should. Like I should be further along right now, or I should want this more, or maybe I should be grateful for this opportunity. And every time that I didn't feel excited or energized for something, I would blame myself. So one day I stopped and hit that pause button on myself and got really real with myself. And I asked a question that I'd never really asked before. If nobody else was watching me or knew, right, what I was doing, would I still want this? If nobody else was watching me, would I still want this? And whew, that question cracked open a whole thing for me. A whole different perspective, a whole box, if you will, because the answer wasn't always yes. It wasn't always yes. And it started making me like, hold up, I need to be looking at some other things here. I need to be asking this question in more areas of my life, right? And so I want to get into a little bit why this happens and why it's so common, especially for women, because from a young age, we are taught as women to be responsible, make smart choices, keep the peace, don't rock the boat, do what's expected, like the cleaning and the stuff and all the to-dos, check, 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 right? Measure your success by the milestones that you make. So naturally, our goals are going to start coming from places like family expectations or societal norms, or maybe it's family timeline or society timeline. How about social media comparisons? Ew, right? Or what looks successful from the outside, from the facade, from the shell. or maybe what feels safe, or what is approved by society, family, social media. And listen, those influences in your life are not bad influences, but when they are the only voice guiding your goals, you're losing touch with your inner voice. You're losing touch with yourself. And that's when the goals start feeling heavy instead of exciting and fun. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I remember a moment when I was pushing towards something that I told myself that I wanted. And I had all the backup. I had all the backup excuses, reasons, stories, la la la. Everyone around me was supportive. It totally made logical sense. It looked like the next step that I needed to do, but my body was saying something totally different. I was waiting till the last minute to do anything. It was like holding out, and then, okay, do the thing, right? Or I was trying to avoid it because I have to clean the house instead. Or I got to go do this other thing. I made plans. I got to do like making excuses, right? I would feel anxious every single time I worked on it. Like it was something I had to do. And then I was very like energy, right? Instead of stopping, pausing, listening, asking questions, I just kept pushing harder because in my mind, working harder, pushing harder, you're going to get a better payoff. Are you though? Until one day I realized I wasn't chasing this goal because it like lit me up and it was the thing. I was chasing it because I didn't want to disappoint anyone else. Because changing my mind felt scary because stopping the goal felt like I was gonna fail or I was gonna let other people down. And that's when I realized, what the heck? What's going on here, right? I realized that pressure, all that pressure was like loud and noisy and heavy. And no, thank you. And my truth, what I wanted, my goals and my needs, it was like calm, easy, different, very different. It was a game changer for me. It was a game changer for me, which is why I want to dive into the signs that a goal is coming from the outside. Like, how do you know that? How do you know it's coming from the outside pressure and it's not yours? And I want to get super practical with this, okay? Because here are some signs that your goal might not actually be yours. These are some signs that I want you to look for this week or longer, if you will, if you choose to, that it might not actually be yours, okay? If you feel constant guilt around it, like you're either not doing enough or you do it and you resent it. Is it actually yours? Or you explain it, why you're doing the goal, why you're doing the goal, instead of just enjoying doing it. If you're constantly justifying why you're doing it, this makes sense because blah, 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 and you list like 10 things, like that's a clue. Like, is this really actually yours? You're kind of justifying it to yourself, really, if you think about it, right? Number three is you feel relief when you imagine quitting. Because I laugh because I've been there. I've been there. You imagine you're like, what if I stopped? Whoa, that'd feel better. Okay. No excitement, but relief. Is that yours or somebody else's? You know, maybe one is if you're motivated by fear and not like what you really want. So maybe if it's like, oh my gosh, I'm going to fall behind, or what if they judge me because of this? What if they say this and this about me if I stop? Or, what if I'm like wasting my, I guess, potential? Like, what if it's something that I could be really good at this and I'm wasting my potential, a fear of wasting it, right? That's a bugger. That fear is a bugger, you know? But is that actually yours? And finally, if it drains you. And you know what I'm talking about? The kind where you can do something and you just feel like so tired afterwards, or you do something that you really love. It almost like energizes you. It gives you this like boost, like you just had a cup of coffee. That's a desire. That's a want. Your true self alignment. But something that drains you instead of maybe stretching you a little bit, like stretching you a little bit to get that excitement and recharge. Because growth can be uncomfortable. Okay, let's be real. Because growth can be uncomfortable, but it should not like suck out your energy and suck your soul. That's when you have to ask yourself, is this actually mine? And then look at your goals. Like, look at your goals that you have and ask yourself if they're truly yours, and use those signs to help guide you if they are actually truly yours. Because that inner critic can get sneaky with those excuses, reasons, and logic that they want you to stay right there. Okay. So let's look at signs that a goal is truly yours, that it is aligned with you, and how it feels to know that, heck yeah, this is mine. This is mine, and I can't wait to continue to do this, right? They energize you. Even when they're hard, it's that little recharge, like that cup of coffee, if you will, or tea, whatever you drink. It's going to feel like that. And you're just going to be happier. It's like the switch flips and it's just like, dun, 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 like you're all like that, excited and all the things that way. Maybe you feel more like ease, grounded when you think about those goals and not like, you know, the progress that you make in your goals feels more meaningful to you and not, I guess, impressive, right? You're not doing it for others, you're doing it for you. And you don't need constant validation on your goals because they're yours. You feel proud even in the small steps that you take. And here's the big one. You really feel connected to who you are becoming and not just what you are achieving. That's how you know you're on the right path. That's how you know you're on the right path. But how do you check in with yourself? How do you check in with yourself to know this, to know that you're on the right path, to know that the goals are yours? So I want to do a quick like inner check-in that you can come back to anytime, but you need to get real with yourself when you do this check-in. Like be really honest with yourself because I'm going to say it. Nobody knows what you're doing. Nobody knows the questions that you're asking. Nobody knows you're not having to write them down, turn them into somebody or say something to somebody else. So take the pressure off yourself. The only other voice is that what I call dragon that likes to swoop in, or your inner critic voice that might be saying some things, and then your true self, right? So stop, hit that pause button. We're going to do the check in, and I want you to ask yourself these questions. Use these questions to help you. If no one had an opinion, would I still want this? Does this goal support the life I want to live, or just the image? Ooh, right? Am I chasing what I really want and my design in my life, or approval of the outside world? Am I chasing what I really want or approval? What part of me wants this? And what part of me feels pressured? And I want to give you an important reminder with this is you are allowed to change your mind. Changing your mind does not mean that you failed. Some of us, when we make decisions and we decide something and we want to go do, like, let's say we want to change jobs and we're going and we're doing this job and we do this job for a little while and then we're like, nope, this isn't it. I want to do another job. That's okay. That's okay. If you truly are checking in with yourself and you're getting real with yourself and you know that it's not for you and you're honoring yourself to move and do another job, that's okay. You're allowed to change your mind. We put all this pressure on ourselves of making a decision and then we have to stick with it till the end. No, we don't. No, we don't. Sometimes we learn things in that process. Sometimes we learn things in that process or pick things up that we need in order to get to that next level, in order to get to that next job, or in order to get to that new decision or goal that we're making, right? So that's the step we need to take. That's the journey that we're on. Nobody else knows that but us. Each one of us knows what we want, what is aligned with us, and what is best for us. When you do this, it means you're listening to yourself. When you take these steps and honoring yourself and changing your mind and whatever, it means you're listening to self. Okay? If listening to this episode kind of stirred something up in you and you're like, man, I want you to hear this. Okay? You're not lost. You're not confused. You're not behind. You're not all of that. It's not chaos and messiness. And you're not starting over. You're not just like, okay, now I got to start over. No, you don't. No, you don't. You're just getting clearer. I like to say stick a toe in, one little thing at a time. It's not a big overhaul here, okay? You are getting clearer, and clarity is powerful. The next chapter of your life doesn't require more hustle and, push harder and push through. It requires checking in and more honesty with yourself, more tuning into you, more trusting that what you desire, what you want, that matters. That matters more. More permission to choose what feels right to you, what you want, what is aligned. Not the impression, not the facade, right? Your goals should feel like an invitation, not an obligation. Even that word, bleh, obligation. No, thank you. What is next for you? It gets to feel lighter. It gets to be more intentional and becomes more you. Okay? If this episode hit home for you or sparked something in there, just take a little moment today to write down one goal that you might be chasing and ask yourself honestly where it came from. Where did this come from? And if you want support figuring out what your next align step is, what you're sticking your toe in might look like, I'm here. I got you. Just reach out. Because you don't have to do this alone. Until next time, my friend. Thank you for listening to today's episode. I hope you enjoyed the conversation, learned something new, or got some gems to take away that will boost your week. I release a new episode each week, so make sure to click that follow button to not miss what is coming next. If you love the show or want to share a story, send me a quick message. I love hearing from listeners. If you know someone who needs this episode in their life, go ahead and share it with them. I'm sure they would love you for it. If you are looking to connect more, check out the show notes for all the social links, my website. I would love to hear how this episode helped you and what you loved about it. If there's a topic you want to hear about, send that too.
All right, ladies, now is the time to release your inner power.
Are you feeling like you're behind or something's off or you've tried to do something new and you just can't get on that wagon? You just keep falling off? Guess what? You're human and life doesn't follow a perfect timeline. Maybe the year didn't start the way that you hoped. Maybe your goals got buried under real life stuff. But here's the truth. You're allowed to begin again anytime you want, whether it's July, September, December, January. Progress doesn't have a deadline. That's why now is the perfect time to join Empower Her. We meet you where you are, help you build momentum, and remind you that you don't have to do this alone. There's still so much time left. Let's make it count together.